Tammy, I want to say thank you again for, taking your time this evening and chatting with me. And how have you been? What's Tammy been up to?
Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy year. Not gonna lie, I had a really rough time in the beginning of COVID,
Mhm.
and I let myself be upset, feel the emotions. Like
Mhm.
obviously, we're going through a pandemic,
Yeah.
and then I just like used it to fuel everything that I've done. So like, I've been so incredibly busy with work. I've hit milestones that I didn't know I could ever hit, even during a normal year, let alone a pandemic. So everything's been really good right now. But I mean, how have you been? How have you been handling like COVID and everything?
I mean, like everyone, it was a curveball, of course, and I'm just grateful for I look at the positive, grateful for health, which I know right now is for a lot of people been kind of obviously a stressful point, but doing the podcasting has been a great outlet. So I got my dog Chewy right here, so I'm happy for that.
Oh my
He's like,
god.
why? He's so camera shy. Like, he's like, I don't know why you're doing this.
He looks like the Taco Bell dog.
Yeah, I know. Well, I saw, Claire has her dogs on. So, if they ever need another dog, Chewy's qualified. But no, I mean, I think like everyone, just making do, trying to adapt. But, with you, I know you're still working real estate, correct?
Yep. I still have six jobs.
Six
Um,
jobs. Wow.
yep. Six jobs and working through it. I'm mainly a real estate agent and an
Mhm.
insurance agent. So that's been crazy I mean, the real estate market is insane this
Yeah.
year.
And you're
But
in Syracuse, right? Are you still in
yep,
Syracuse? Okay.
yep.
So talk about that, like especially you just mentioned COVID. Like how has that impacted your job, your six jobs right now, but especially with the real estate industry?
So the real estate industry has been booming because the interest rates are so low, I think due
Mhm.
to the pandemic. So there's so many buyers. Every house is overselling for tens of thousands of dollars over asking.
Mhm.
So I've been super busy with that. And the bartending thing, I also bartend on the weekends, that
Mhm.
was shut down up until June.
Oh wow.
So that was really depressing because we missed St. Patrick's Day, we missed Memorial Day, like all the big holidays for bar life. So but we picked it up again. We There's a lot of precautions right now, so it's not as busy as it used to be. Halloween is this weekend, which was our biggest event of the year, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out this year because we can only have 30%
Mhm.
capacity in the building. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, business is crazy with everything else. I It's so funny because after I was done filming Good Morning America, that very week, everything shut down, the whole world. So like I was the last person, well, that I knew of to be in a state that was so, or in a city that was so high risk.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my god, I touched like the subway, like I'm gonna get
Yeah.
COVID, like what's going on? But yeah, crazy stuff. So I mean, where are you like located?
So I'm in Dallas. Stuff has opened up quite a bit, but there's still like bars are still closed. I think right now in Texas there is a kind of an order where certain counties can start coming back if they want to. Dallas, the bars are still on pause, but restaurants are back at a capacity. Gyms are back at a capacity, museums and that. But it's still, like you said, like Halloween is always big here in Dallas, especially downtown. We always have a huge, celebration, and I'm not sure how that's going to go this year. So it's different, but I would say it's kind of in the middle. I don't think anywhere is normal right now, but I think more things are reopening. And I feel like a lot of businesses are being safe about it, but they're still like, not what a year ago. And I think that's the big thing about this year so far is like, how do we really, adapt in that? And you mentioned St. Patrick's Day, I was in Vegas when everything shut down that week. So,
Oh my god.
I remember it was that Wednesday, it was actually my dad's birthday, and they're like, the NBA shutting down, and like, this is shutting down. And then I normally never get to go to the St. Patrick's Day parade all the time here, and it's a huge thing. And they're like, that shut down. and like everything just domino effect. And actually, while I was out there with family, they were starting to shut down the buffets and everything. And we're like, oh man, this is getting,
I
real.
didn't think everything was going to shut down.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to be super minor. It's going to be like the swine flu or whatever. But like this came out to be so much bigger. And like, we're literally living in a history book right now. It's crazy.
That is true. I mean, this has been, definitely rough. Rough is an understatement. And it hit so fast. Like literally after that week, everything, the cases started. And I'm sure, with everyone traveling too, that didn't help. But it just, in a blink of an eye, it just escalated pretty fast. And here we are now. And, like I say, try to stay positive. Hopefully, we can get this under control. And but definitely stressful time. What have you been doing to kind of escaping a little bit? Have you in your off time, if you get an off time, sounds like you got a lot on your 6 jobs. That's
it sounds crazier than it is. Maybe it is. It's like normal life to me, so it's whatever. But I just escape and work. And I think that's what drove me to really work harder this year and hit the goals that I didn't think I could achieve, is because of like, what else am I supposed to assert this energy towards, And I think it's really working on myself. And I like stole my gym equipment from my apartment and left it in my apartment during the beginnings of COVID, and started working out like crazy, like just trying to work on projects that I set aside because I just didn't have time for it. And now everyone had time to do things. Like I feel like everybody renovated their home.
Was that happens a lot up there in New York? I don't know if it's happened here in Dallas. If people really, so a lot of people just renovated their homes during that
people
time.
Just renovated their home. Like they're like, well, what else am I supposed to do? So that really helped, because everyone sold their house for more because they renovated their house. So I can't even imagine like having to film during COVID, because like we were supposed to film Bachelor in Paradise. I booked Bachelor Games and Bachelor in Paradise earlier this year, and they were both canceled. So that was a real huge bummer. So I was really excited for that. And
that's still a big question mark too. Like I know that it's supposed to be postponed till next year, but the rate everything's kind of going right now, it's not, cases are still rising. Like, are they going to even think about postponing again, the Olympics?
If this goes into 2021, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to buy an island and just live there for the rest of my life, because I don't know if I can handle this.
It's, I will say this about 2020, and it's kind of looking at like not taking, taking things for granted per se, like, time and health and just people. I think, not to get on a soapbox here, but I feel like it's easy to just get kind of wrapped up in lives in that. And so like, this has definitely been a testing year, obviously, but I'm going to choose to like stay optimistic. And I think we can. We all do our part, of course, as they say. And, I think we can. I think it's just, it hit so fast and it's such a curveball, and, but I think
I really think
we can.
That it is a huge negative in life in general to have this happen, but like a lot of things were pulled out of it to be positive. Like, you know what? I want to take time to just talk with my family, you know, instead of being like, I can't right now, I got to go to a meeting, like little moments that you just miss when you're just caught up in life. It was just really nice to take a step back, and like literally the universe was like, we all need to like take a step back.
Yeah, no, you made a good point right there, because like, I think, it's making that time almost seems like a job sometimes. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And look at what we're doing here. A lot of people are doing with family and friends that they don't always get to see. And, and we're coming around the holidays, which has, been tough for a lot of people because, obviously distancing, which, makes all the sense. But you're just thinking like, man, so many times where I could have done this with my family in the past where I didn't take that opportunity. And you're reaching out more, you're reaching out to people more. So yeah, I think it's just finding the positives and finding some outlets to just escape. The worry and the concern is there, obviously, and we should all definitely take that serious. But I think it also is just trying to find ways to stay positive and, kind of escape your mind.
I don't think I would have been able to hit my numbers like I did this year without the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because, like, just in general, just everyone's like kind of home more, or they're searching more.
Obviously the market
Yeah.
has a huge factor into it, but like for me, I have 6 jobs. Like every part of my job gets 1/6 of me. So like when the bar shut down and like the marketing shut down, like I could only focus on insurance and real estate, which I knew eventually I wanted to just do those anyways, but I was able to really put my whole energy into just focusing on real estate and then focusing on insurance.
So how do you juggle these jobs? That's what I'm like. So because also you've done marketing, you've done some acting too, correct?
Yep. I was an actor and model, or I guess I still am. I got discovered in 2016, so I've been doing it for quite some time now. Obviously the production of that side shut down as well, but I have a lot of planners. I have 6 different planners.
Wow.
To keep track of everything. Yeah. I just love organization.
Yeah.
And I don't think every hour has a reason in my life. And that's what I kind of like, because I don't know, I have anxiety. So like if I have like an hour to myself, I'm just like, let's overthink everything.
I definitely, I'm the same. I'm definitely.
It's a coping mechanism then, I guess, is to be a workaholic.
Well, I think one of the important things is just, is staying that productive, whether it's through working, but obviously you want to throw some, fun time in there as well. But just the more you can stay active and the less you can just think, like, I feel that helps. Like, cause I'm the same, I'll sit here and just, I should have done that. Should have done this, should have done like just everything. And then, but if I keep myself busy, no downtime. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but
it's probably not healthy, but like people give me crap about like, you only work, like, do you even have a life or social life? I work really hard so I can take the vacations that I want. Like I can go to Iceland for the day, like I've done that. I've gone to Barcelona for dinner, I can do those things because I work really, really hard.
Yeah.
I took my family on vacation first class to Italy last year.
Oh, wow.
And I was able to do that because, there is a sacrifice. Like I miss graduations, I miss birthdays, but I hope that makes up for it. I don't know.
at the end of the day, I think you just find the path that works for you. And, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, enjoying the 6 jobs and enjoying, I think that's what's important. And you get to, take those adventures. What was the last trip you got before everything shut down?
See, I came back from filming in November last year, and then we kind of couldn't really go in. Every Christmas I go visit my mom. She lives in Texas, or used to.
Okay.
She just moved yesterday to Florida.
As of yet, former Texan.
Yeah, a former Texan, and so I would fly down to go see her. That was my big trip, and I went to go see. We had a girl trip as well with me and a bunch of the girls from the season. So, because a lot of them live down in Texas, so we went down there.
We produce a lot of contestants for this show.
Well, Texas is a big state. Might as well be its own country.
Pretty much. I guess it technically was historically, in a way. It was its own republic.
But I wanted to stay local, like in the country, because like if I needed to be here or there for something for like filming, I just didn't know. So I think in February I went to LA, and then I went to Women Tell All, and then New York City, and that was the last of it.
Wow. Yeah, but that's still good though, that you got to kind of fit that in, before everything. Talk about, you just mentioned Iceland. Going to Iceland, go to Italy. Yeah. Like if I'm going to Iceland, where would you say, if you were my tour guide, where would you say go to?
Go to Blue Lagoon, of course, you have to. You have to go see, what's it called? This like big church that they have there that's like monumental. I think it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. And then the Black Sand Beach, that one's really cool as well. It's such a small island. I was able to do it in a day. I was literally there for 26 hours, and I flew back home. Because it is right there. We're in New York, so it's like 6-hour flight to Iceland. But yeah, the last country I think I visited would be on the show is when we were in Costa Rica. Oh no, Chile.
Chile.
Yep,
That'd
yep.
be fun. That, I mean, it looked like fun from what I saw.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, the experience itself is crazy, but
Well, just going about that experience right after, I mean, how's life been since, The Bachelor? Do you get noticed a lot, even in your jobs? Like once March hit, like how's life been on that aspect?
so the funny thing is when I got home that week in November, like obviously people knew that I was on the show, but it hasn't been aired yet. The first person that noticed me was the McDonald's drive-through. And I'm like, I guess I go here a lot.
What do you like to order? What's your go-to?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm so disgusting. I do 2 double cheeseburgers, a
Oh, that's
large
fine.
fry, and 6 McNuggets. That's the sweet spot.
There you go. That hits the spot right there. You can't go wrong with like the dollar menu.
No, it's great.
The
A
McChickens.
double cheeseburger for $1?
Yeah, I mean that's gold. I mean,
Yeah.
and
But obviously not healthy. I don't eat like that all the time.
hey, every once in a while or twice a while, you can have that moment where you're just like, hey,
I was
why
stressed
not?
out. I mean, I just came home from filming. I'm like, I need McDonald's. But yeah, after the show has been crazy, of course. My life's definitely not the same. People notice me even with the mask. I'll be just grocery shopping.
Really?
Like, you're Tammy from the Bachelor. I'm like, how do you know that? I can't even tell who I am in the reflection with the mask on. But I mean, obviously after the show, a lot of social bullying, like the social media stuff was very hard to deal with. And I have a person who's very thick skinned. I don't really give a crap about what other people think. I'm going to do whatever I want no matter what. But to see it at that volume really bothered me for at least temporary. I'm human. So it's going to eventually at some point hurt really badly. I started second guessing everything about me. Like, am I this person? Am I a mean person? Like, really evaluating my whole life. It put me in a really dark place, but a perspective, you take the negatives that you have and you just take it as a lesson. And now I know that what being on a show is like and being in the public eye, and it wouldn't have its perks without its negatives too.
Well, I think that's kind of like the very downside of social media, obviously, is just everyone's got an opinion on there, and then people will say stuff about you that they would not say to your face. I mean, that's just, the keyboard warrior, as they say. And it's kind of where we are in society, unfortunately.
It's really scary because like these kids are kids, these are like Generation Z, and like they're under 17 years old who are saying literally death threats. I would get emails and like people would call my phone and like leave me voicemails. It was just really bad. And I couldn't not answer them because in my business, I have to answer the phone.
Yeah. I
wouldn't change it for the world because obviously I got the most beautiful friendships out of this on a crazy experience. I wish I could take away the negative part of it, but without that, I wouldn't be able to build even thicker skin,
Yeah.
Traumatizing things happen to us to get us ready for the next big thing in our life.
Well, I think it's also one of those things too, where, these people on social media, they're not in your shoes. They're not, been experiencing cameras, which is, I'm sure, not an easy thing. Even if you've, with an acting background, I'm sure it's still not easy, especially in a romantic setting. So I'm sure like not experiencing that and trying to come after somebody in that. Like, I just feel like we got to be better people to people,
Yeah, but I feel like it's never going to change because of the social media world that we're in. But again, just to ignore it. I mean, I just ignore them now. I kind of laugh at them. Like someone told me that I have a shitty attitude and a big ass forehead. I'm like, you're right. I do. Well, you take it and you laugh about it just because these people don't know you. So they can't have valid opinions on you. So that means you really can't take even the compliments to heart either.
Yeah.
Because these people don't know you.
Well, and there's always that, once again, they wouldn't say it to your face. And two,
right.
They'd be like, oh, hey, what's up, Tammy? Like the complete
they would want a picture and love you. Yeah.
Opposite. Well, I will have to say, just following your tweets and commentary with the Bachelorette, I mean, you're funny. You're great. So I'm sure just
the problem is we live in a very sensitive world now.
Yeah.
and I'm a very sarcastic asshole. Like, I don't mean it intentionally. Like, I never would want to hurt someone's feelings or like their life, because I get that people are human, but like, I'm a banter kind of person. I'm a Gemini, Enneagram 8 personality. Like, that's just my personality. And I never want to use that as an excuse to like attack someone. I would never attack someone, but I hope they know that I'm just, what I say isn't really my whole heart of like feeling like you're ugly, like it's all jokes.
Yeah, well, I think there's also that other side to it too, is where people will take a tweet or that out of context, or like think that this is who she is and not really like break it down. So there's both sides of kind of that extreme. But going through your Bachelor experience, do you feel like the jobs that you've been doing has helped you in any way, as far as like just being in that atmosphere, like especially coming, like real estate and sales? Do you feel like that helped at all?
With my business, I mean,
Yeah.
that was never my goal.
Or just your
I'm sure.
experience in the Bachelor, like going in to that atmosphere. Do you feel like anything you took from your job, any of those qualities help you like just being a competitor on the show or
Oh, like,
contestant?
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm a natural born salesperson. So I have a theory that you will always get what you want if you work hard enough for it and you only manifest and focus on that goal. So that's what I put into being on my time on the show. Like, I had one goal. It's to pursue the lead. That's why we're here, but obviously other factors fall into it. But like, also, I'm human. I wanted to build the relationships with these girls, even though we were dating the same guy. I feel like that was where it was my downfall, because I ended up caring way too much for these girls over my relationship, which people will say what they say, whether it's one's right or wrong. I don't think one is right or wrong, but I came here for a goal. Imagine if we were in a real life dating situation, I don't care about the other girls. Like, I want to be with this guy, if that's what I truly want. So I tried to fight for our relationship. And I think when I started feeling like it wasn't really going anywhere, that's when I started more focusing on the girls. That caused me to be in the trouble that I was. But again, we're all like sisters. We all banter and like fight. But I think it's just the stress of the moment, like you're dating my man. So obviously it's not going to be all cuddles and games to a certain point,
Well, and also, I mean, I read that you wrestled, right, back in high school. So, with wrestling, as you know, I was a wrestler as well. So you sometimes are challenging your teammate for that varsity spot.
Right.
There is that competitive. While you want your teammates together to do well, you're banned. You may next Tuesday, challenge them to get that varsity spot. So do you take some of that too from that wrestling?
Oh yeah,
just
I
that
think so.
Competitiveness.
I think the closest friends that I'm with on the show will tell you that I am a challenger. Like, I want you, like, Sheehan said it the best when she did the Bachelor podcast. After Women Tell All, I was like, I'm gonna take you, and you're gonna be upset. I'm gonna let you be upset, but also like, chin up, Buttercup. Like, let's go. Like, know that you're a bad bitch and continue on to fight for what you want. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. Like, let's sugarcoat everything. I'm going to let you feel what you feel, but you need to realize that you are stronger than this. You need to move on. You need to fight for what you want, because you are stronger than you think and feel right now. So I think that's kind of my, not really a flaw, but I think it's a great trait to have in a friendship, because you're not going to want someone who's going to be like, you look great every day. You're doing great every day, because I want you to learn from your mistakes. And I wouldn't be a real friend if I didn't call you out on your bullcrap, I mean, that's my opinion. That I'm brutal, but
so there's always that, having that honesty, can really help, and even to have that strong, true friendship is like, hey,
I want you to grow.
Yeah. And do you feel like it just got overly misconstrued on camera?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I said the things I said, I did the things I did, but I wish people really saw more of my story to realize why I did the things that I did. And I guess one day I'll be able to tell that story or show more of me. But I think that will give people a better understanding of why I did the things I did. Obviously it came out very aggressive. I'm an aggressive person. Like, I'm assertive. So,
Well, let's talk about also this season of The Bachelorette,
oh
because
my
assertiveness, but
god.
also honesty. I mean, let's just go from this past week's episode,
Yeah.
because we
You know
talk
why
about
I
it.
love Claire? I love Claire because she calls people out on their bullshit. You know, that's why people
She's
won't have the
very
balls to
upfront.
do that. She's extremely upfront. You know, but I will say that I don't think she's giving the guys a fair chance.
Mhm.
Because I feel I've been in these guys' shoes. You know, to watch it back and know that the lead is saying like, let's hurry the night up. Like, I don't really want to talk to these other people. It's like, I understand that no one forced me to do this, but I gave up a lot to make sure that I was here for you only,
Mhm.
and I at least want a chance. You know, and I feel like they weren't getting a really fair chance. So I feel for them. But hopefully when Tasha comes in, they'll be able to get that fair chance that they've been looking for.
Well, and I was talking this on a recap I do, where the guys. I mean, this is twice that they've come in and left, and trying for
Yeah.
a shot at love. And look, it's always good that you know what you want. You know what you want, but this is a process. This is a show. These guys are here to. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
Somebody in there
With
could.
love, you never know.
Sometimes it takes time with other people, but it just some of it was a little kind of cringy, and I felt like even with, let's talk about the roasting, because we're talking about comedy, and and
Okay. I think the roast is all fun and games. And if
yeah.
anyone thinks that roast is way too like mean, they are extremely sensitive because it's a roast, you know?
Well, and it's just coming, in sports, like as competitors, we're always going to call it the elephant in the room, and I didn't feel like anything, just from my point of view watching, came across super insensitive or malice. I think they just realized, he's got a leg up, it's there, and we're just going to call you. That's what usually a roast is, one person.
Right.
So I just felt like, I don't know. I didn't feel like anything was very malicious. I think it's just how, like, especially with guys, we're always like ragging on each other, and, and once again, calling out the elephant in the room. But I don't, from what I could tell, I don't think Dell really looked like it took super personal, but you could definitely tell with Claire, it hit, because I don't know that any comedian out there has been pulled aside after they've roasted and been asked,
Right.
what do you mean by that joke? And look, I'm not trying to sit here and rag on Claire. I'm just saying, from what we saw, this is why the guys are kind of the reason why they filled, because the aura is in the room on who you siding.
Exactly.
And everybody there is, competitive, obviously, but also, mature in that, and they just want their time value, and they want their time. And they're going to have a little fun with it. I was surprised that by Clark Kent been in.
Tell me he's not the Crimson Chin. That man is the Crimson Chin.
Yeah, he might be. I think he's a real superhero. He might.
I think so. His jawline can cut a steak.
Probably a really tough, one
Yeah.
of those overdone steaks.
He looks like a cartoon. Like he looks like an imaginary character.
I mean, he definitely looks like a Disney, drew him, and here you go. I mean, his jokes went to Harvard,
Oh, that's a good point. That was a good one. His jokes went to Harvard. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that I love Bennett also because he says things that people are thinking but are too afraid to say. You know? And that's the type of person I am as well. Is that I'm going to be the voice for people who are too afraid to have a voice. So even though it was fun and games, I don't think Dale took it to heart. He knows that he knew and he felt that he was like a front runner,
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to dish out on him. And if you can't take it, then don't dish it out. But at some point you can see it on his face that he felt a little all right, enough of this. Because one after another, and I totally understand that. That's valid.
Yeah, I mean, and there is that too, because it's not like they just switched to somebody else in the room. But I think maybe I could be wrong. Part of it is nobody really knows has had a lot of time. And once again, with that rose, that I'm not giving anybody a rose right now. It's kind of awkward, because it's well, none of them have really had a chance yet.
Right.
you know.
They had valid conversations when she left after not giving them the group date rose. It's like, has anyone else here had pursued a further relationship with her rather than Dale? And it is no, you know? And that's a frustrating feeling to feel, I mean, collectively too. So, I mean, Claire knows what she wants, obviously. I just don't think that continuing an entire season would have made sense.
Yeah.
She found the one, and good for her. That's great. I wish I could find the one that fast.
And that's my point. It's like, I think it's good that you know what you want. It's just also there's these guys here that want a chance at least, but you know, Tayshia's coming in.
What I don't like is that she talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk about saying that she wants these guys to be assertive and like basically chase after her, and like these guys do, and she's not reciprocating that, you know, or rewarding that. Like, if you truly wanted that, then you would reward the effort that these guys are putting forth, you know.
Well, I think too, like with some of these guys, just, you know, especially maybe some of even the older ones, it's like, you know, they want to be assertive, but it's picking your shot because we just went through quarantine and everything, and like one false move or whatever, you know, I'm gone. And twice I did this, you know, and as you know, you leave everything and to go and film and put everything on hold. And they did that twice, you know, maybe not the whole first experience back in March, but still. So it's like, you know, coming from like just guy perspective, it's like, okay, well, if I come in too aggressive, you know, or whatever, you know, like, am I going to get sent home right away? So,
but she said that she likes that,
yeah,
you know?
Well, there's that too. So I don't know. I think
So
it's like,
it's not like a guessing game of like, damn if you did, damn if you didn't, I guess. But I don't know. I really felt for Zach. That situation
that was awkward.
Was brutal. I mean, people have so many mixed feelings about it, and I totally understand you should not put your hands and force someone towards you. But like, I think because he felt like she wasn't giving him anything the entire date, he's like, let me just please like try, you know, like, you know, like when you just chase after someone after you get into a fight, it's like, you just please just like pull me back that one little bit, you know.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it? Tell me.
I mean, it was hard to watch. Like, I couldn't imagine like filming that. I don't know. I was sitting there drinking my beer watching it, and I was just like, it's just like, man, everybody around the world's watching this, and just like, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it's one of those, like, you know, that whole kind of second guessing a little bit, but I think going back before that too, when, you know, she's bringing up about Dell, they're at the spa. It's like, hey, you know, he might have got like a free, like, clean feet for that day, you know, but you can kind of tell like, okay, like, because that was like what, right after or right before the roast? I can't remember. Maybe it was right before the roast, but it was definitely right after the whole, like, you know, Dell had 45 minutes or whatever, you know, with Claire. So already guys are kind of like a little urgent, like, okay, you know, I want my time.
And let me tell you something, 40 minutes in Bachelor world is an eternity.
Yeah. It seems like it.
Because that's like time that might be the only time that you get that week, you know?
Well, just to like paraphrase, the thing with Zach, it was just uncomfortable to watch. Ultimately, just uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, I mean, you really did feel for him, you know, and I mean, I don't know. I felt like there's kind of a trend right there. And once again, not crapping on Claire because she knows what she wants in that. It's just, it's awkward for these guys. Now, I will say a couple of front runners, you know, with Della aside, you know, her and Blake, I felt like that night one. I mean, like you said, she likes that of boldness. You know, you broke the rules, that assertive.
Right.
And
then she's shown it multiple
Jason. Yeah, they had a really good moment, I felt. I felt like, okay, Dell's right here, but maybe I could see Jason right there. And, I mean, she seemed to really like Jason. So there's a couple of guys there. But it's still one of those, I think, just a big bummer for a lot of these guys that it's just like, it's just not going like.
Yeah, I really feel for them. Because imagine trying to pursue someone and you just keep trying to pursue them and they're just like not answering your texts or just saying K. Or like leaving you on red. That's like the in-person version of leaving you on red.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to hang out tomorrow? Possibly, you know. Or
I'll text you. You know?
I'll let you know. Let me check my schedule. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
I've told that too many times.
I'll let you know. And then,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
yeah, it kind of feels like some of the guys are more in that friend area a little bit.
I mean, it seems like she took Zach out for a girls' day to go talk about Dale.
And you know what? I will say this. I will give also Zach credit right there. He didn't lose his cool, really, or that. Because, I mean, that's one thing you don't want to hear is about another guy on here. Or, and vice versa.
Right.
I mean, because it's supposed to be about you two and that open-mindedness, whether it leads to something else. But that's the whole thing is getting to know. That's why you go on those dates, right? Getting to know. And it was about, Dell. Which, by the way, I think the whole Dale Superman thing is very funny, too.
Oh, my gosh.
We got two Superman.
Perfect timing, too, because, everyone's at Party City right now trying to get their kids' costumes.
Dale just needs to, there you go. He's already posing.
The Dale taco is my favorite.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny.
The Dale taco. So, I mean, he's already got the pun. So, he's won no matter what, He's got those costumes. But, and moving on just from that, I mean, of course, you had the roast, and then at the end, once again, the whole rose, I'm not going to give this. And it's just nobody's had ample time to really get to know. And I think it seems like, I don't know these guys, but it seems like there's some great guys in this. This is
a good cast of guys. I mean, I think very few of them are not fan favorites, But a lot of these guys are solid. I mean, I can't wait.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're not fan? Do you think personality, or is it just not?
I mean, it could be just they're not getting enough airtime.
Yeah.
We can't see enough of them. Like that one guy that she eliminated last episode, I didn't even realize he was there. I don't even know his name.
Yeah.
I can't tell you his name. I have no clue, which I feel bad for because I know. I mean, he's feeling the agony just as much as other guys. He's just not being shown.
What is more awkward, do you think? The Zach or a week ago with Brandon?
Jeez. I think Zach because he was strung out to dinner and then got broken up with by Chris Harrison.
I forgot. Okay. You refresh my. That's worse. I mean, I don't personally, I've never been stood up on a date, but that's when I saw Chris is
that's a shitty feeling. Let me tell you, being stood up. I've only gotten stood up once.
I mean, I don't understand it. I think just cancel the plan. If you're not into it, just cancel the plans. Right. But when I saw Chris walk out, I was like, oh no.
I did not like that. She claims to be a strong, independent, fighting woman, but she couldn't even have the balls to break up with Zach.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard because my heart's not. Sorry, Zach. that was bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Zach. I hope you find love. That was bad. He had a rough last 24 hours in that world.
Well, what do you think about a lot of the reactions? We're 3 episodes in, almost now coming up 4th episode in. What do you think about the reaction all towards Claire?
I think it's very negative, which I don't like. We all have our opinions, but you have to respect that this is what ABC chose to be the Bachelorette, and they wouldn't have chosen her if she wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
So I think she is having a hard time. I mean, especially with all the backlash that people are saying. I mean, even with Peter on my season, people were giving him a crap ton of backlash. But with him, he kept his chin up. And, I'm sure it bothered him, but we would have never known, And we just have to check on these people. After every episode, I go and I check on, the more controversial contestants to see, if anyone's, saying things on their comments. And I try to report them because, it's so mean. I know how bad it feels, to have hundreds and thousands of people just tell you that they hate you so much and that you don't deserve life and you don't deserve anything else in this world just because of what they think they know you by. But if anyone here can tell me that they are extremely perfect every minute of their years on life so far, I would love to meet them because they are probably God, because there's no way. We all make mistakes, we all have our flaws and we act out sometimes in different situations. So.
Well, and once again, I think that's just so shitty that they're the trolls and there's no need for, I mean, she knows what she wants, it's got to not be an easy situation no matter what,
Right.
It's just, from an outsider's perspective, we just want best for the guys. We just want everyone to get their fair shake. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you can go out there and just viciously attack. You don't know her. And she seems like very outgoing, fun. She knows what she wants. And she knew like first it was hug at first sight. But hey, I mean, like I'm right there with you. If that could happen, I mean, that's awesome. It's just, it throws a monkey wrench into the whole, show.
I mean, think of like with the COVID stuff too, like how long we haven't had that human interaction with a stranger for 7 months.
Yeah.
So for her to just, when she feels something, then you're just going to gravitate more towards it because of you haven't seen or felt that in so long. I mean, she's been fighting for love for longer than I've been alive. I feel like she's been not on 1 or 2 shows. She's been on like several different Bachelor shows. So I think that she just really wants to find her person so badly, like we all do in this world, that she's willing to be this, I guess, obnoxious in a way, because she knows what she wants and she's going to fight for her Dale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think together, I mean, the chemistry is strong, so it's authentic.
Oh my God. Insane.
But
I'm like, should I text my ex?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty raw. I mean, it's there. I mean, that the whole it's almost like the fantasy suite in episode 3.
Yeah.
Like it was on, but that's just how strong they are, and the other guys are just wait on the outside.
I will say this, that hearing the word Dale, I feel like it haunts me in my sleep at this point.
Really?
Like, I think I've heard the word Dale more than I've heard the word the.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a lot of Dale. I'm sure like a lot of factor falls into it production wise, but
I mean, it's been interesting since episode 1. It really has. Now, one person
has happened.
A lot of it's like we got the cliff note of a season. Like that's what it feels like. Like this is going to be a mini series or whatever. Like because I was like, well, it's over. We already reached like the fantasy suite. Like
I mean, we watch all season for chemistry like they have. And we got it in the first 2 episodes.
Well, what did you think about that? Because like from episode 1. Like I went and watched, shout out to Steam Theory Brewing Company. It's Chris's restaurant here in Dallas. Great place. But I went to watch it. I just remember everyone was thinking that like Del, because that's what we've heard. Like Del from night 1. Like, when is he coming out? Like, when is he coming out?
I think that's also a psychological thing too, because the rumors and the spoilers have been out, and obviously we read them. And hear about them. So in our minds, we already knew what it's like. So I think hearing it and seeing it over again, basically living it a second time, just makes it overwhelming for the viewer.
Yeah, I mean, I think usually we're just kind of like, we're just so excited it's a new episode, which everyone is, but it's a different kind of excitement. It's like, okay, we want to see how this plays out. Like how we already know that there's this guy that possibly gets her, but we'll see. It wasn't normally like, oh, here's this guy, here's this guy, here's this guy. We'll see.
I want to be on like my toes.
Yeah.
I want to take guesses, and have like my bracket out or whatever. But with this, we know who it is. It's Dale.
Do you do the whole bracket thing? Have you done that?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't know there was a thing until like last year. Like there's like March Madness for Bachelor.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. People make bets on it. I mean, I noticed it more with my season being on the brackets that college guys do, which is really funny. But that's when I first heard about it. I'm like, people bet on these things?
Well, one person we haven't talked about, Yusuf. The start of that episode is how intense. I mean, it just started from at 100, or at however you want to rate the scale of intensity. What's your thoughts on that? Because that was like, just watching that was just like, oh my gosh.
I want to almost play devil's advocate for the situation, and I am sure he's a decent human being. I don't know him, but I'm just going to play the devil's advocate here. But he attacking someone verbally like that is never okay, because he was seriously going in at her character, her, and for him to only know her like what, let's say a week at this point, he's like questioning of whether she's like, going to be a good mother, and like saying that she's classless. Like, you don't know enough about someone that early on to say those words, you know? And I feel like he just wanted to create like a big boom and then like might drop him out. So I really don't think he cares about what the repercussions are, even though it sucks to have the repercussions. So I feel bad for him in that sense, because again, we have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was the right way to handle it whatsoever. He may have had valid points, but your delivery is where it makes or breaks the conversation.
Well, approach is
what do you
everything.
think?
Oh, no, yeah.
Right.
No, I was sitting there. I was like, oh, my God, dude. Approach is everything. Tact. Like, and, I was looking at it, too, and it's like, I know there's been, talks about that whole dodgeball, how people felt about it and that. But, I mean, he wasn't. I'm not saying
you weren't there.
That's what I was going to say. Like, he wasn't there. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but that means you're going out of your way and to be aggressive. Like, you're going out of your way to stir that pot. And you're supposed to be here for her, like, want to get to know her. And like you mentioned earlier, like, we all make decisions that may not always be favorable, but you're not here to like throw that in her face. You're here to, like, it would be one thing if you went up to her and you just pulled her aside, like, I know I wasn't part of the day, but I want, more time or whatever. But
he literally like set her aside in front of cameras to yell at her.
And that's not, I don't understand that thinking. You talk about your daughter in that, and you took time away from her to be here for a shot at love, just to aggressively attack the person that you had no verbally attack, I should say.
Imagine if a boy yelled at his daughter like that.
Yeah.
You're telling me you wouldn't go get a shotgun? Like, I commend Claire. She had way too much patience.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, she stood very strong, and you could just see it in her face.
Out, and I would have literally knocked him in the nose.
It was just, it was horrible. I'm glad, obviously, that he was, sent home. And really from, there was this aura around him from that one. Once again, we don't know him personally. We're just saying it. But from the actions that we just saw that led up to him being, it was not good from the get-go. Even when, was it episode 1 or 2 where the group of guys.
Tyler C. Yeah.
Well, that and the group, remember he kind of said when she was like, nobody's like pulling me aside or anything. And he spoke up. He kind of said it's crazy talk, which he already right there. I was like, what are you doing? Like, but
I would have sat there.
Yeah. But it just like their approach is everything. Everything. And man, I don't know.
I get we're in a stressful situation being in that world. It is stressful, but like, I just don't think that was excusable in any sense to talk to someone like that. Because he was like verbally attacking her. Like, I don't know.
It was, he just unleashed, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it was.
And then to continue to say crap about her as he's walking away, like, you're the oldest bachelor, like, that's so rude. I literally would have took him by the neck, drop kicked him, and just let him.
Yeah, that's just uncalled for. But then Dale dropped in. He came in right at.
Oh my God!
Dale saved the day.
Superhero comes in.
Yeah, Dale saved the day. It would have been funny if Dale, and then right after him, Bennett, the two Superman.
Like the Batman signal.
Yeah, just in the sky. Both of them are gone. They're like, "Where's Dale and Ben?" They create the Justice League. Like, they just create a superhero.
No, two of them together, the Justice League.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the Flash or Aquaman.
I feel like, what's his name? The Flash looks like, I don't even know his name. I don't know his name.
Yeah,
it's so. I don't know how the viewers like remember everyone's name from night one. I could never.
I knew
Jordan C.
Jordan C. He could be the
Flash.
He could be the Flash, and then someone's got to be Aquaman. I don't know anyone there's a swimmer though, like a competitive swimmer, or I don't know.
I feel like
we haven't seen any pool action yet, really. Any swim?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then Yeah, so that could be this. Just have Dale and Bennett. They're the ones that look the most superhero. I like that. It's funny. Was it Kenny, the boy band
The
manager?
boy band manager.
Somebody's like, who's checking on the boy band?
Like,
Like who's checking? Somebody wrote, who's checking on the boy band?
he needs you, Kenny.
Yeah. I love his shirt though. He came out night one. He rocked the dogs.
With the dog, yeah.
He was on top there. I love
He's
the
funny.
intro.
I like him. Mm-hmm.
He's good. Yeah, he's funny. I like Easy. Easy's funny
Oh
too.
my God, how can you not love Easy?
He's got to have his own show one day.
He does. I would want to be on that show.
He's what sports marketing. I think that's his new. I know he used to play football. I think it's. I read the job title sometimes. I think it's sports marketing, which is perfect because he's got that personality, that charisma. But I feel like he's got to have his own show. He's definitely got to have a podcast.
Oh my gosh, that podcast would be hilarious. Who else is really funny? See, I don't even know what the guy's name is.
See, I like Ivan. I mean, he's a Dallas guy.
Who's Ivan?
So Ivan, he's the man. I start remembering by job title. He's the
you know who's
engineer.
has a really, really good expressions is Riley.
Oh yeah, no, Riley's good too.
Oh my God, he was so over it at that point during the group date.
He's just like it's time to leave.
He's like, I'm over this.
That is that kind of. What does he drink? I wonder what he's drinking there. Is that?
I'm gonna say he's a whiskey on rocks kind of guy, or a Jack and Coke.
Is there beer on the show ever? I don't ever see or is it kind of unmarked? Okay, good. I just always what I always
it's
see
beer, but it's poured into a glass.
Yeah, that way you don't see the mark. Yeah, I was just wondering how many actually like what people like to drink, or do you get like a choice of
being a bartender? You can really tell a lot about someone by their drink of choice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So from Riley, what you see there, from what you can see,
I'm gonna assume whiskey on rocks, and I'm gonna say he's a sophisticated man and like won't take any bull crap, but also has like that funny side. I mean, his facial features are amazing.
I mean,
I was the facial features of my season, and like those are solid facial features.
Well, I mean, he definitely has that look of like, man, just get me out of here. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I think some of these guys now are just like, dude, you guys want, hey, Kenny, let's form a new boy band. Here we go. That's what they got to do.
Gather the men, Kenneth.
They need to do a TikTok.
If they all did TikTok, I would.
Oh, they need to do a group TikTok.
Taking over my life.
Oh, I know. Oh man, that's the thing of 2020. What TikTok came out a year ago? 29. I'm so last minute, but TikTok has kind of saved things a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, I think I would have never downloaded TikTok unless it wasn't for COVID. It was like something to do, and it was like an escape almost. It's so funny.
Do you do all the dances, or do you kind of like pick?
God, no, I can't dance for the life of me.
not
I like
even
the funny ones, and I like the cooking ones.
Oh, the cooking ones.
The tips. I learned a lot on TikTok.
What do you like to drink? And when you're and as far as bartending, do you have a very special drink? Like I know some bartenders, they have their own drink that people love to order. Like it's their go-to that they make.
I don't really drink, and that's super odd being a bartender. Mm-hmm. I was actually named top bartender. I won a cocktail contest in 2017 in my area. So I don't really drink, but when I do drink, it is anything tequila. Mm-hmm. So I love like tequila Red Bull, or just like a margarita would be perfect. My go-to to make, it really just depends on what they like. We make our cocktails at the restaurant that I work at twice a year. So it changes every 6 months, and we create brand new cocktails. So we just I don't know, I don't really have one specific one, but I make a mean spicy margarita, and I plan on being the next bartender for a Bachelor in Paradise.
Look out, Wells.
Wells, I'm coming for your job.
Maybe they'll have 2 bartenders. I think that would be cool. Kind of change it up.
They would not let me bartend, I feel like.
Do you ever critique bartenders? Like, I mean, not like verbally, but like, do you kind of like when you're at a bar, like kind of see
No,
what
I
they're doing?
respect them 10 times more because I know how difficult it is,
Mhm.
and I always over tip them because that's what you should
I
do.
think that's good. I mean, I think that's good in general. And I mean, it's always good to support your bartenders, your waiters, because you never know what kind of day it's, in general, if
Right.
it's been slow. And I mean, they do so much and that assistance. So I mean, that's awesome that to over tip.
Yeah.
What is your pet peeves as a bartender?
When people are like, I'll get what you like. I'm like, why? Am I drinking? Like, people, yeah, those are just little things. I don't mind it too much, but it's just like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me, dude? Or it's like, or if I don't come to them for like 10 minutes and I go to them like, hey, what do you want? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, I gave you 10 minutes to decide what you want and you don't know what you want? I mean,
It
if you have questions, ask the questions. But like, don't be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got to be kind of, frustrating, especially if you even have it like on the board right there. Like, there's your choices.
Yeah. It's
Well,
normally like the more younger drinkers that ask those questions.
like, would you say like a go-to is usually like your Wells and, Well whiskey or your Jack and Cokes?
No, I
No,
always make a cocktail.
always make a cocktail.
Yep. Yep.
See, I
I think
don't,
throwing a Jack and Coke is too easy. That's the easy way
yeah.
out.
That's the easy way out. Well, and that's the thing with whiskey. There's so I'm still learning about whiskey, so maybe I need to reach out to Riley. It looks like I'm still new. I'm a beer guy. Like I love beer. So usually I can like go right in. I know. I mean, with beer, well, I'm sure it's like with a lot of alcohol, especially even wine. You know your tastes, like But if somebody's like kind of on the fence and like, so especially like breweries, it's like I like Coors Light, and I was like, okay, so you like light beer or water. Sorry,
Do
Coors.
you want a water with lemon? Is
Yeah,
what
do
you
you want?
really
Yeah,
say.
Coors is like you can never have our product again. No, but
We just
but
lost that sponsorship.
but it's like okay, like you like light beer, then you'll like a pilsner, especially if you had Miller Lite or that or a Kolsch, something like that. So,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah, I always see like they're like, well, I don't know, what do you want? Well, it depends on what kind of day it is, because if it's a Monday, I'm gonna have this kind of drink,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's gonna fit. Uh, what is like? What do you think about like the dating world right now in 2020? What do you think about like the apps and all that?
Oh, I feel like the apps even this year are going to make a killing
Yeah.
because everyone's like meeting virtually.
Hmm.
There's no way of like just hitting on someone at the bar. Because like I don't know about where everyone else is, but where I am in New York, you're not even allowed to stand at the bar. You have to sit.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to like, make your way over and like, throw a stupid line at a girl or whatever, but you can't. So I'm assuming that dating is all going to be virtual.
You can pass a note, old school. Like
Oh
pass
my
it,
God, like
just pass
one of those
around. Or the
those football
football,
papers.
the football.
Yeah.
If you can make that, some pro team out there is gonna sign you. I think there's a dating app for everything now. I mean, there's like every kind of dating app now. Like there's like this music one, like if you shared interests in music, which I think that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
But I feel like there
Yeah.
are 100
Is that
like the
listen to your
dating app.
heart?
Yeah, I know. The listen to your They should be the listen to your heart app. It's like called taste buds, which that could either be a food
Oh, that's
pun or
cute. That's
yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's cool. And I mean there's what coffee meets bagel. I mean, there's so many. So it's not just Tinder and Bumble and Hinge. There's also that new one. Have you seen S'more, where it's like a blurry picture and unblurs over time? But have you
I
seen
did. I
that?
heard about that one.
Have you seen the ad though with the comedians? They're pretty much kind of ragging on it, and S'more like shared that. It's like Josh Wolf and it's David Spade. It was on his show when they're
Mm.
promoting it.
David Spade is, I want to meet him one day. Like,
He
that is
seems
my
like a
celebrity
cool
crush. I
guy to
love
hang.
him.
Tommy Boy. I mean, how can you not like those classics?
How can you not love?
Are you a big movie
Of course
fan?
I
I mean,
can.
are you big into like a lot of comedies?
I'm a huge comedy person. I love funny. I mean, that's my kind of segue into like serious things too. I try to just make everything funny, but that's my biggest thing. Romantic comedies, of course, those are classics.
Go
But
to rom com.
Oh God, Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
That was a
That's a
good one.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
cute. Yeah.
I'm very, very classic in When Harry Met Sally. Speaking of New York,
Oh, geez, When Harry Met Sally.
I
That's
love
cute.
that.
That's a good one.
Uh, Pretty in Pink. Any John Hughes
Okay.
movie. I feel like we need more of that John Hughes style of
Yeah.
films now. We could
I
use
feel
a little
like
bit.
our generation though, like moving in, are not gonna get
Probably
his
not.
type of movie style. No,
Probably not.
we're getting old, Charlie.
I know. I know. I'm not that old, but I'll be 33 in a couple months. So February.
I feel
So
like I'm 50 and I just turned 25.
well, there you go. I mean, once you get to 25 and above, sometimes you're like, damn.
When did I get
Why?
old?
I'm over here, can't figure my computer out, this Zoom.
Like,
I mean,
can you hear me?
yeah, let's just play telephone. I think that's good. We'll just play
Oh
telephone.
gosh, that's
Yeah, no,
funny.
technology. But yeah, no, I love comedies too. I mean, if you can make a comedy with some of your friends or maybe friends from the show, what movie and who would it be? If you can
Ooh.
remake a movie with your friends, I should say.
Honestly, it would have to be on the lines of something like Friends.
Yeah.
I love that kind of comedy. I think their comedy filming in the 90s was so ahead of its
It
time.
was.
It's hilarious. And I think any of the girls from my season would be awesome on that show because we all need different characters.
I mean, Friends is timeless. What they were ahead of their time, but just in general, those reactions, it's so authentic, I should say. Like the friendships there. What team were you on? Were your team Monica, team Rachel, team Chandler, team Ross,
Oh
team
gosh.
Smelly Cat? I don't know.
I liked Rachel a lot. I think Monica also I related to it sometimes. I mean, I love Joey.
Oh,
Come
Joey's my
on, you
favorite.
all need a Joey.
Joey. You got to have one Joey in your group of friends. You have to.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, find that. Do a casting call. You need a Joey.
Yeah. Use a dating app to find yourself a Joey.
We need to bring back Friends and have them on online dating. Joey's trying to figure out online dating.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. They're all old now, though. Don't tell me I said that, but
I mean, there's mature dating. That's one of those apps.
I mean, remember when Bachelor was supposed to do that? Like,
I was thinking that the other day. Like, I feel bad because that would have been kind of cool. Like, I know it's like going to be a shorter show, but like that was.
I would have liked to see how that panned out.
What was it called? It was 60 and over or something, or 60
It was
and
like
single.
65 and above. It was like retired,
Yeah.
love or whatever. I don't know.
I think it would have been cool. It's something different, and I think that's unique. I mean, were you a fan of Listen to Your Heart?
Oh my God, I love Listen to Your Heart. I watched every episode. I've actually hung out with a couple of them, and I'm pretty good friends with a couple of them. So they're in the Bachelor Nation too. I mean, even though it's a weird leg of the show, but they're part of the club now. So
it's kind of like Paradise, meets music in a way.
I
like Rudy and Matt,
wow.
Shallow.
Moody for life. Like hashtag
Yeah.
Moody. They pull on my heartstrings. I don't know what their relationship is like now. I don't know if it's platonic or like further. But
no
like,
matter what they're getting.
In a perfect world, I wish they would get married, and I want to be their flower girl. And Rudy has such talent. It's actually unreal. Like her voice control is amazing.
I mean, it's daunting. Once again, that Shallow cover was just like I closed my eyes. I'm like, well, that's just as good as the original.
Right.
Like it's.
God, I love them.
I was hoping to see Chris sing a song. Just kind of do like the Oscars, like da 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 da.
He's coming for everyone's job now. You see his new ring line?
Oh, I saw that.
And then he ministers like weddings now. So the next thing is to start singing.
He's got to start singing. I think he just should have started the show or ended like do a little number, kind of like Hugh Jackman, like the Oscars, like da 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 da. He's like,
I would pay to see that.
I would like to see him on Dancing with the Stars.
Why hasn't that happened?
I mean, everybody else has been, a good majority of the contestants have been. We got to see Chris cut loose. Hey, he was a soccer player. He's got the footwork, I'm sure, still. We got to see him Footloose. There we go.
I'm going to throw a petition out there for next season for Chris Harrison to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, he's got to be. I think secretly he would. I think he would be good if you have that basic footwork. Like you look at all the other past athletes, you know, Team Chris all the way.
All the way
dancing.
I'm a Chris Harrison stan for life.
Oh yeah, he's such a cool guy. He really is. He comes and visits Dallas, you know, quite often, especially with his restaurant. Such a chilled guy. I'm sure you know a lot. So yeah, I mean, anything he's in, I'm like Team Chris all the way.
Oh, I love him.
Well, Tammy, I want to thank you for taking your time. Where can people find you, and what is next for you?
My number one rule is to not ever expose everything that I'm doing because I want it to be all a surprise. But
there you go.
Just know that big things are coming, and this is not the last time you guys will hear or see from me. And I hope that I have your support in the future, and I can't wait for things to be normal again so we can all be part of this Bachelor Nation all over again. So I'm very happy. Thank you so much for having me, Charlie. This was very fun. And my first podcast of the fall.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And I mean, it's been an awesome conversation. Would love to have you back on again. We'll see what happens with this new season. I mean, we got Tasia coming in, so we'll see.
I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited.
So it's going to be interesting. But once again, have a great rest of your evening.
You too. I'll catch you on Twitter.
Oh, and Chewy wants to say goodbye. You see, he's like, why are you doing this?
Bye, dude. All right, guys.
I'm like Jay, and this is like Silent Bob here, so.
All right,
well, yeah,
have a good night.
You have a good one.